touch the sky. Till we touch the sky.
Hey guys, welcome to the Spectrum Podcast. It's me, your host TG. My co-host James is not here. He will be handling a family event, so you'll just have me for the show. The show is brought to you by the Podcast and the Amani Village, which is our first sponsorship. The Amani Village, with a great community company that's about strengthening communities across the across multiple communities in the state, and want to help get people's costs down regarding their electricity bill and all that. So if you guys have any interest, go ahead and talk to them about it. I promise you, you're gonna love it. So on today's show won't be too long. The good thing is, all we will be doing is pretty much discussing the latest news in CFB, and we will also be discussing the Big Ten Media Day podcast news. So all the latest intel. But first, there is some big news regarding the Protect College Sports Act. Sorry guys, just make sure my volume's up. So what I will tell you guys is the Protect College Sports Act, it will be going through. Yes, people. The Big Ten and the SEC are behind it officially. They will now be going, they will now be able to, the Congress, I should say, will now be able to get it through, the Protect College Sports Act, which will do tremendous work for college football, but it also will hurt some programs who kind of benefited from the Wild Wild West, so let's talk about it. All right, so guys, the Protect College Sports Act, there's been some, let's say, let's just say the laws have been kind of remade regarding the College Sports Act. It's the best way I can put it. They have revised it, is a better way to say it. They've revised it. The way they've revised it is this. You know how the reason why the Big Ten and the SEC did not want to support it in the first place, it had everything to do with with TVs, basically, with the Big Ten and the SEC sharing their media rights revenue across all the other conferences. So the Big 12 and the ACC would get equal money as much as the Big Ten and the SEC. Yeah, they want about that. So let's just say that right there is what got the Big Ten and the SEC to say, okay, look here, we like the rules that you're putting out there, but we're not going to support that part. Like, either you're going to change it, get rid of it, or do something else, because we're not going to share our money with the SEC. We're not going to share our money with the ACC and the Big 12. We're not doing that. So they revised that one and said that it will now be optional. Now, it's still part of it, but it will now be optional, meaning the Big Ten and the SEC don't have to do it. So that right there was enough to get them on board to say, okay, we can get on board with this, because it means we don't have to get involved in it. We ain't got to do much with it. And we ain't got to share our money with these conferences if we don't want to. So, it's good there. The other thing is, as well, is conference realignment. Now, for those of you who don't know, there has been some discussion about teams from the ACC, such as Clemson, FSU, Miami, and North Carolina, or schools who were determined to get out of the ACC due to conference realignment with the SEC and the Big Ten. They can't do it no more. This is the biggest blow, because the ACC had them by those contracts they signed all the way to 2031, if I'm not mistaken. So they had to sit through it and wait until 2031 so that way they can leave the conference. Well, now they can't. Seriously, people, this bill just saved the ACC. It literally just did, because in the college realignment in this bill says that the cap for all conferences is 19. Conferences now can only have 19. Now, I can see that my face has frozen. Hold on, guys, give me a second. Because this is kind of getting a little annoying now. But for those of you who don't notice, all right. Okay, so for those of you who don't notice, this Sports Act means that now you only have 19 teams that can get in. The Big Ten already has 18. So Now we don't have to worry much about the Big Ten maybe adding on to more, such as, maybe the Miami and all of them. No, they're not going to add any of them. Obviously, the Big Ten is basically out of it, whether people know it or not. The Big Ten is out of getting those teams in, because they're at 19, and the only spot they're saving that for is literally Notre Dame, and that's it. They've saving it to Notre Dame. And neither the SEC has about 3 spots open. So yeah, you could think, well, that should be enough to get them in, right? That's what you would think, right? No, because the part of the College Realignment Act, if a team such as Miami, Clemson, Florida State, and North Carolina want to leave the ACC, they have to spend 5 years as an independent. And it's not just in football, it's across all sports. All sports that they have, they must spend 5 years as an independent across all sports. Which, let's be real, that's not going to go well. It won't. I don't care who you is. That will never go well. If you spend 5 years as an independent across all sports, it won't go very well. So let's be honest about that right there. So basically, this Protect College Sports Act just basically got Miami, Clemson, Florida State, and North Carolina by the throat of the ACC. Like, the ACC got these 4 schools by the throat, because now you definitely can't leave. No matter if you want to, because unless you want to spend 5 years as an independent on your own, which you're not going to be able to manage, no matter what anybody says, at the end of the day, you're going to have to spend 5 years as an independent program. And none of these schools are willing to do that. They're not, no matter what anybody tells you. So they are pretty much stuck in the ACC for a while. They are, because ain't no one's going to want to do that. So I will say that this Protect College Sports Act, it basically just saved the ACC. Because now the ACC can have these teams by the throat, and they can't leave no matter what, because they don't want to spend 5 years. So you can't say that's another big thing. But this College Sports Act also does a lot more. If anybody hasn't paid attention, and I see I am frozen again. Thank you for Pledge Terror 55. I see. Welcome to a new viewer. Where was I going with this before my screen froze? Here's where I was at. The Protect College Sports Act also helps around these kids for NIL. What does that mean exactly? They now have a salary cap for retention, meaning they've managed to up the salary cap a little bit more, make it more workable. And they've upped up the revenue sharing will now be a retention salary cap. What that means is, if you want to retain players, this is a salary cap you have to keep those guys. The NIL, like overall salary cap of what you're spending on guys coming out of high school or in the portal, goes up a little more. So it's something for you to work around, which is good, honestly. But there's a salary cap, which is good, and I think you should expect it to get up to, see here, if I'm not mistaken, it's around like what, 20 to 30 something $million. So that's workable. It gives this team some room to breathe at the end of the day. But let's just say that that when it comes down to it, it's pretty much what's best for these programs. Now, I would say for a team like Oregon, now you can just go around spending money like crazy. Same with Tennessee, same with USC. Like, now y'all can't just buy players. Like, you actually got to recruit. And not only do you actually got to recruit, and when I say actually got to recruit, I mean you really have to recruit, because a part of this is also that these parents and these uncles that like to be agents, because if you guys didn't see on my last show, I talked about how about where it's like DGG's uncle basically is like the reason, like getting too involved in such. Apparently, a part of this College Sports Act is also to protect these kids from their families, and these agents would be getting 20 plus, charging 20% for how much you're for their service. Well, now these people can only make 5%. Agents can only make 5% of what the players make. But you can't just be some street agent. Like, you actually have to be a real agent. What does that mean? Well, what it means is you parents, mom, dad, uncles, especially the uncles, you cannot be involved in this unless you're a real agent. And if you're not a real, and in order to be seen as a real agent, there's a certain process you got to go through to be seen if you're a real legitimate agent. There's a certain process you got to go through, which, trust me, most of these people don't even know what to do. So, yeah, no, this actually protects these kids because now their parents can't influence them to go to the highest bidder. Because guess what? There's a salary cap now, and more importantly, if you're not an agent, you have you got no say in this. So you're pretty much stuck at that point if you're the family. But not only that, and again, for these kids, like you have agents who are only making 5% and they ain't charging you a whole bunch of money. That means these agents are just got to live with it, whether they like it or not. The other thing is as well that this is gonna hurt Tennessee a lot more than I think people realize. Because for Tennessee, and I'm sick and tired of bringing them up, but I gotta bring them up because this really does affect them as well. This is about NIL sponsorship deals. Here's the reality. What they did with DGG's family is illegal now. What do I mean by that? You cannot buy the family anymore. You cannot tell Adidas where you want the money to go to for a specific player. Like if they give a kid an Adidas deal, it's because they want it. It's not because the school told them to. They're making that very clear with all of these NIL sponsorships who are giving money to these kids. It's like it has to be legitimate. You cannot just give these kids money just because the school told you to. Like you actually would have to want to give them the NIL. So what Tennessee is doing with DGG and his family is entirely illegal now. So they're only giving him money because, if I'm not mistaken, Adidas is covering half while Tennessee's covering half, right? If I'm not mistaken. And like they're basically giving money to just DGG just because Tennessee told them to. Here's the problem with this. Now that it's illegal, Adidas, you actually have to pull out of this deal, or you're generally going to have to give DGG that $1 million. Like, you have to genuinely want to give this kid money. Because if you're genuine about it, then you'll be okay. But if you're not, it's entirely illegal and you can get punished for it. We don't care how it feels. It's illegal now. Like you can't just give these programs money to throw at kids. Like you actually, and I mean this when I say this, you actually would have to want to give them a sponsorship deal. That's just how it works now. So I'm saying this because this does affect teams like your Tennessees because they will rely on doing stuff like that to try to get these kids. But now that you see that it's illegal and you can't do it, meaning you're going to have to restructure DGG's deal, and Tennessee's going to have to pay the $2 million out of their own pocket. That's what they're going to have to do because it's just entirely illegal, whether people realize it or not. It is. It's entirely illegal. So now you can't just get. So now these donors, mainly these sponsorship donors, like your Adidas, your Nikes, and all them, unless they're genuinely trying to give these kids money, like they generally want to give them these deals, you can't just give it to them because the school says so. You genuinely would have to want to do that. So I will say that is a big step up. So now it prevents schools from trying to buy these kids' families because knowing that their families can't be involved in the NIL discussion like that, they really can't be. It does protect them from their own families as well as protect them from the agents who are trying to rob these kids blind because they know they're stupid. So the other thing that works out with the College Sports Act is the one-time transfer rule. Now, this definitely affects schools like Indiana and others who relied on the transfer portal to get kids. So here's what I'm going to tell you. For all those kids who transferred with Kirk Cignetti from JMU, if they were to transfer again, they couldn't leave. So for Kirk Cignetti, who has relied on his transfer, who's gone to transfer portal a lot, I expect the transfer portal number to go down because this one-time free transfer. Now, it's one thing if your coach leaves. If your coach leaves, you can hit the portal. It's not a penalty against you. You're good at that point. But if it's not the case, you're only getting one free transfer. After that, if you try to transfer again, you got to sit out for a year. There are some kind of penalties for what happens if you try it again. It's the good thing. If you ask me about this whole thing. So I will say that for schools like Ohio State, for schools like Bama, for schools like Georgia, who don't want to deal with this, schools who are actually good in recruiting, this actually benefits you in the biggest way. Because now it means you ain't got to pay these kids a crap ton of money. It means that you ain't got to worry about their agents or the ridiculous families trying to demand money that they shouldn't get. It means that when it comes to the transfer portal, these guys can't rely on just going to the portal. Like, you don't have to worry about a whole mass exodus because now these kids got to sit and think, is going to the portal worth it right now? See, even if you get one free transfer, it's like, look, back in the NCAA's days, back when they still had some teeth, if you transferred one time, just once, you had to sit. You kids are getting one transfer now. One, you're not getting a second. Like, if you do it a second time, you're going to have to sit out. So if you're going to transfer, you better make that one count. Because you ain't transferring again after that. So trust me, it's going to make those kids who like to hit the portal and just go from one team to 5 or 7 in 4 or 5 years. It means, nah, you can't do that no more, buddy. You want to sit at that one school. Now, I will say there is one thing I think the College Sports Act should allow when it comes to these transfers. If these kids are told they need to hit the portal. Like, because sometimes these kids get forced out. Like I said it before, like Ohio State is an example of kids who do get forced out because they know they're not going to get any playing time. Like, some of these kids are not good enough to play here. They need to go somewhere else to get better. I think that should be a one-time addition where if they're forced out, and there should be a report telling you such. Like, I know a lot of people say, well, how are you going to know if they did or didn't? Make these people write a report. Like, just make it so. Like, have a report written or something of some sort that lets the NCAA, the CSC, and whoever's going to be watching over these new rules, make it known that, look, we let this kid transfer because he wasn't going to play here. Do not transfer him. Do not penalize him for this one transfer. Don't penalize him. Like, give him this one free. I think that would work if it worked that way. In my opinion, anyway. Like, people may think I'm joking. I'm not joking. Like, I think that would work, at least. But that has to come from the school itself. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. This Protect College Sports Act is about to save college football. It's about to pretty much make everything, again, for schools like, because I said it about Kirk Cignetti, now you really are going to have to rely on recruiting because now you can't just go into the portal. You really got to recruit, you got to develop, and you got to show it. Now, that doesn't mean that talent is just going to go one way or the other because these schools got to be smart about how they spend their money now. You still got to be smart about how you spend your money and not go over that salary cap. There is a penalty if you go over that salary cap. Whether you realize it or not, there's a penalty. So these schools can't just do it. So talent is still going to be spread out. But now I don't think you're going to see schools be stupid enough to give these kids an astronomical number when they know for a fact you're on a cap right now. But, there's always a loophole to every rule. So I'm pretty sure some schools try to find a loophole to get past it. I'm pretty sure they will. It's what always happens because some of these schools end up finding loopholes. It's what always happens. So we'll see how it goes from here on out. Yeah, we'll see how it goes from here on out. We'll see how it goes. But, I'm liking the Protect College Sports Act from the things that I've seen and that I've read about it getting passed. And within like months, if I'm not mistaken, it could be passed within months. I like it. Because it really limits things. There's no more Wild Wild West. Now, the only thing I have to say is I don't trust the SEC because I'm like, these people will break rules. Like, sorry, SEC, but that's who y'all is, man. Y'all are the type that just break rules without giving a damn. Y'all really are. Y'all are the type who just breaks rules without giving a damn. You don't care, no matter how much you try. But in the meantime, and I want to show you guys this too, because another part of today's media days, because from media days, and I want to play this clip for you guys. Now, I'm not going to try to get copyright, All right. What I'm going to play for you guys is a clip from somebody who covered the SEC, who knows a lot out, who knows a lot about the stuff that be going on down there. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it, but it explains a lot regarding why the SEC has been so, I'm gonna say this, such whiny craze because and again, I'm only gonna make this big enough where I don't get no copyright strikes. Again, I'm not trying to get copyright. Let's see here. So I'm gonna have it where you guys can hear the audio, but let's see. How will this if my computer doesn't act up like an idiot? Because it's about the truth of the SEC's fall. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna play this clip during the SEC. I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna say during. Let's see here. Matter of fact, I could put this as part of Big Ten Media Day stuff, but it all depends on if my phone will start. If my computer will actually go through instead of being slow. It's all gonna depend on how my computer is right now. Let's see. Sorry, guys, again, because but this is gonna relate right into the Big Ten and Media Day stuff because it's gonna make an excellent transition. But again, it all depends on if the video can go through. Because if it's not going through, we have a problem. All right, let's see. Come on, can I get it? Nope. Sorry guys, I wanted to play this clip, but I think my Wi-Fi, yeah, the internet just is moving a little too slow. So I was gonna play you guys a clip regarding the SEC media days because the Big Ten Media Day news has a lot to do with what Kurt Signetti and them said about the SEC because Brett Bielema took shots at the SEC. And so did Kurt Signetti. I wanted to play you guys some clips, but it looks like right now there's some issues going on with it. Let's see. I probably should have had this set up before I even came on here because I know how my computer can be. Let's see. Maybe should I try it on somewhere else? All right, guys, give me a minute. Because, yeah, I don't think I can do it on here. Let's see. Ryan City Media. All right. No, I don't think I could play for you guys. I don't think I can. So, let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. I'm going to try to see if I can find it on my phone so this way you guys can at least listen to the audio. Because it was a great way to explain exactly how the SEC stuff kind of works. Or maybe I could try to do it like this. Let me see. Videos. Hey, Jessica. You right on time. Because I just got through discussing the PCSA, the Protect College Sports Act. The Big Ten and the SEC are behind it. If you want to, you can rewind it, go check it out because I talked about how it became supported because it started off with them doing something regarding the media sharing type of thing that they were doing. Um, if you want to, you can go back and watch it. Go rewind and rewatch it. Because right now I'm trying to find s- a video regarding a SEC somebody who was covering the SEC who literally told the truth that everybody knows, but it's probably better for you all to hear it. So that's what I've been trying to find, and it's been a bit of a problem. All right, so all right, here we go, guys. History, history. All right, guys. So I just found it. Thank Lord. I'm about to share it on my thing here, so you guys can hear it, or better yet, you guys can listen to it. Yeah, so you guys can listen to it. And give me a minute to set it up. And this is shout out to the guys on Grind City, the Grind City Media Podcast. They have been excellent at what they do. And I'm frozen. God, motherfucking. Guys, give me a minute because my thing just became unresponsive. So give me a second. Say, do this. Give me the studio. You. This. I swear, technology. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, my thing just started acting dumb. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. That just threw me for a loop because I was about to play you guys the video for you guys to see it, and then my thing just started acting crazy all of a sudden. So hold on. So give me a second, guys. I'm about to share my screen with you guys because that just blew me. Because I finally get what I needed, and then the thing just wants to start acting crazy. All right, guys. You do this. No history. Come on. All right. So all right, guys. So here we go. I finally got it on here. I'm about to share my screen and I'm about to show you guys exactly what I was talking about before my stuff started acting all stupid today. So here we go. Shout out to the Grind City guys, Grind City Media. They are the ones who made this out. They kind of helped us out with this one here. So this again, you guys are just gonna listen to the audio. Can I show the video, or else I will get copyrights out?
Of Kurt Signetti's comment and the reaction. It was a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, so Miami was favored.
It goes into the loss column, Roser.
Yeah.
The in-season non-conference games and how they have fared against
No,
those
the
teams.
excuse would be for the non-playoff
That is
games.
tough.
The excuses for the non-playoff games would be who plays in the games. Because not everybody plays in the bowl games. That would be the excuse.
Okay, bro. Here. Hey, all
Well,
right.
sheesh.
Yeah, and
That goalpost is moving 55 yards.
No, I know. That's
here's
what
what I'm
the
going to
excuse
do.
would be.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you and everybody else a dose of truth serum. Yeah. You can't get that at the Arnold Classic.
You can get doses, though.
You can get in the black market, though, yeah.
You can get serum.
Black market. You can get some serum
something there.
Everybody tries to explain this. Well, maybe it's the better coaches. Maybe it's the SEC beats everybody up. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Whatever. The truth serum is this, and I know this by living in the South and covering the SEC and going to SEC media days and covering everybody from Woody Woodenhofer up to now the Clark Lees and the Pete Goldings of the world, right? I mean, I've been around this now, and I know every fan base. I know boosters from every fan base, and we were right in the middle of it for so many years going to SEC media days. The truth is this. They cheated like crazy forever. And that's not an advantage anymore. That's what got screwed up. It did mean more. It did.
Yeah.
The fact that the Indianas of the world, who would never pay a player to play football there, can now pay guys $3 million, $4 million, whatever $1 million. Same with Vandy. They just couldn't cheat. Like, that wasn't going to be their thing. They were not going to get caught up in a scandal. They were not going to get, but like every other one of these teams, and virtually any time they've ever been good, they got hit with something over the years. And I've been to these boosters' house. I mean, these guys took care. There's a book called Bragging Rights that came out 25 years ago. And it's literally about how SEC boosters move. I've been at dinner with Alabama and Auburn boosters with them bragging.
Yeah.
And holding one over the other. Oh, when you got this kid and you got this kid. Because it just matters so much to them. And I'll tell you this, that's hurt the most of anyone. The most of anyone, I think it hurt Auburn. That's my opinion. Honestly, because those guys, they were in a fight with Bama. So that's why you know what I mean? That's why they were anteing up. I mean, bro, you go back to that Cam Newton thing. That was a big deal. And by the way, they stole him from Mississippi State, who was already going to take care of him and the dad. Like, this was the wild, wild west with these guys doing it. But the reason is because they can't spend 364 days going in and Tommy, the Bama fan, who's their boss, hanging that over their head every day saying Roll Tide when he walks by his desk. Like, that's all that matters to them. And so the Auburn people, like, they ain't competing with everybody else. They got to be better than them.
Yeah.
Well, being better than them mean you better ante up, bro, because that's the only way you're ever going to be. The only way. But now Auburn can't even hold on to their own guys anymore because everybody else has got money. Everybody's got money. Nobody wants to say, like, that is the truth of all of this. The reason the SEC's not as good as it used to be is because they were the ones taking care of everybody for so many years because, yes, it's ironic that that's their slogan. It means more.
And they meant that.
It doesn't matter to these other places, but all of a sudden, the places that it didn't matter, they can now spend. And guess what else? They got crazy rich alums. It's like a scarlet letter if you got in trouble in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Everybody got in trouble in the SEC.
And they didn't care.
Everybody.
They didn't care in the SEC.
No, they didn't care.
No.
The
It's like
only
it's a part of being in the SEC.
You guys see what the problem is there? Do you guys see what the issue is right there? It's right there, just explained. There's a person right here who literally covered the SEC telling you that they cheated for years. And I bring this up because in Big Ten Media Days, you have Kurt Signetti and Brett Bielema ruffling the feathers of SEC fans. Why do I say this? Because Kurt Signetti and Brett Bielema obviously talk about, Brett Bielema brought up how the SEC would still want to live like this is 2005 all over again. I tell you this right now, he got the year wrong. It's 2006 is what he's talking about. 2006 is where the SEC dominance started. I've been hearing for the longest from people who cover the SEC, especially guys on the Joe and Ronan show over there on 24/7 Sports. I hear the guys over there, at least one of them bring up, oh, well, the SEC's just been dominating the conference, has been dominating college football for 20, 25 years. No, they haven't. The SEC did not start dominating college football until 2006 when Florida beat Ohio State in the national title game with Urban Meyer as the head coach. This is where it all started. That's where it all started, 2006. All the way to 2022, because their dominance stopped there in 2022. It almost stopped in 2022. It almost honestly stopped in 2021. Because 2021 would have been the last time they were dominant. It almost stopped there, because if Ohio State beats Georgia, they beat Georgia, it's lights out at that point. Like, the SEC dominance is no longer a thing anymore. But no, it continued because Georgia beat Ohio State. So 2022 was the last time they were dominant. 2023, 24, 25, that dominance ended. Once the team up north won the national title, in quotation marks, in 2023, that's when the SEC's dominance stopped. Once that started, and then you had Ohio State that went on and won it, which you shouldn't be surprised that they did. Then you have Indiana. That's the biggest surprise of them all. That went on and won the whole damn thing. So when we talk about Ohio State, Indiana, Michigan, this Big Ten, SEC, they want to live like it's 2006 all over again. That's how they want to live it. Because the early 2000s, the SEC won anything. They were a conference that sucked worse than the Pac-12. And had a team every once in a while. Like Nick Saban's LSU team was the only one you could take any real seriousness to. And every once in a while, you have a team that sprout up out of nowhere. But when it comes down to it, the SEC had won a lot of championships with, Florida, Auburn, LSU, Alabama for majority of the years, and then Georgia. So they had 5 teams versus the Big Ten's 3 in this century that have won, and only 3. You only won and dominated for as long as you did And the SEC fans may not like to hear this, but literally this is the facts here, because one of the people who covered you, who gone to dinners with your people, as I played in the video, as I played the audio of, because like I said, I wasn't going to play the video because I'm not getting copyright, but in the audio, he said it. And again, shout out to Grind City Media. Got to give those guys credit. Go check out their stuff. They're really good at what they do. And they're truth tellers. They're not the type of people who just go kiss ass in the media. They are the type of people who will give you the truth. And this is the truth. He told you the SEC cheated for years. It's the only reason they were ever good to begin with. It wasn't because they had better coaches. Although Nick Saban and Urban Meyer, both his coaches were great. Them two's coaches were great. Everybody else was questionable. Now, Kirby Smart is a good coach at Georgia, but as we've seen, he's not really the best coach. He's not, never really has been. If we're being honest, he can get out-coached really easily if you match him up with someone like Ryan Day. Because, trust me, Kirby's not a better coach than Ryan Day. I take Ryan Day over him. I take Cignetti over him right now. Because both of them, from a schematic standpoint and from a coaching standpoint, are better than Kirby. I get Kirby got 2 natties, but if you're talking about like on the field coaching, Day and Kurt are better by far. It's not even a discussion. It's not a discussion, and it shows. And with the SEC, especially in this current era, it has shown that you guys are not as good as you thought you were. You guys are basically just pretending as if you've been great all this time, where in reality, you had to cheat your way to become the conference you were, to have that dominance. And now that everybody can spend money, as that person said, and now that everybody can do it, y'all not as good of a conference as y'all think y'all is. Now the talent is more spread out. And guess what? In this era of where you have more talent spread out, the coaching matters now more than ever. This is going to be my thing to SEC fans. If you ever believe that your team was the best, and same with the SEC itself, because even Kirk Cignetti, if you guys go watch Big Ten Media Day, he literally made a comment about how, look, here in the Midwest, we don't have a hype machine. When we lose, we don't cry, we don't whine, we don't do none of that. We own it. That's why the Big Ten is the best conference, as Cignetti has said. Here's my thing for all those SEC fans. Was Kirk Cignetti lying? Because the reality is he's not lying. Like, Sig is not lying. The Big Ten does not do conference pride. Now, people may say, oh, they're doing it now because the SEC's whining and their total consistent whining is just driving the Big Ten to do this. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to see fans in the Big Ten start kissing each other's butt cheeks. Like, they're still rivals, and they take their rivalries really seriously. Like, you would never see Ohio State root for freaking Michigan. You would never see Michigan State root for Michigan, or vice versa for Michigan versus any of those two teams. You will never see Penn State rooting for any of their rivals if they got any. You will never see Iowa rooting for a Minnesota or Wisconsin or any of these teams. You will never see rivals in this conference root for each other. You will never see it. But that's the thing about the Big Ten, is they're just sick and tired of the disrespect they've gotten because people tend to think that they're better. But here's the reality. You're not. Because on the field, when it's even Steven, when we have both sides are lined up, the Big Ten is better because we're better at coaching than everybody in the SEC. That's what the Big Ten believes, and they have every right to believe that. They are. The SEC was only good because they were paying players and stacking rosters. Now that they can't do that, they're not as good as they once were. So it's like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, for the Big Ten and their media day, they literally just shut the SEC up and said, how about y'all stop crying and start putting it on the football field? And now that everybody can pay players, show us that on a level playing field, you can actually do your damn job. Show us that, and maybe, just maybe, you got some respect. But if you guys can't show us that on a level playing field where everybody can pay players legally, and I will say this, the SEC wasn't the only team doing it. Miami was the only other team that was doing that crap too. Now, they got caught and absolutely got ransacked by the NCAA back then when they did that crap, when they got caught. But no, that's the only other team, because if SEC fans say, oh, we weren't the only ones, you're right, you weren't the only ones. It was also Miami, which wouldn't be shocking. But at the end of the day, people, the Big Ten basically called out the SEC and said, stop your whining. Put it on the football field with your coaching, and then maybe you have some room to talk. But that is true. If the SEC, especially those in the media like ESPN, and especially Nick Saban, because I'm not going to lie, Saban, what you showed me in the SEC Media Day showed exactly why Stark and Kiffin are absolute failures. Well, Kiffin has always been a failure. That man knows how to fail upwards. That's what he does. He's a coach that fails upwards somehow. But if you guys want your conference to be better, and if you guys want this conference in the SEC to continuously be better, if you guys want to show everybody, how about put it in the coaching? Put it on the football field as coaching. Show that you are better coaches. Because if you can't show that, I don't want to hear you whining. And don't act like you weren't doing it. Because every time an SEC coach like Jimbo Fisher or Pete Golding threatened to expose everything the SEC had ever did, all y'all shut up. SEC, these SEC teams will be complaining about it. They shut up. That's what, I mean, Nick Saban shut up after Jimbo Fisher ran into him for running his mouth. Like, buddy, I know you're not talking after all the cheating crap you was doing. Like, you a great coach and all, but you were cheating your ASS off too. You were treating your A double dollar sign butt off too. You looked. And Nick Saban shut up at that point because he knew better. Because it's like, yeah, unless you want him to expose what y'all were doing down here, you better shut up. So no, for the SEC, it's basically as simple as go out of your way to just shut up. Just put it on the field and show how great a coaches you are. And if you can't do that, you're gonna have to acknowledge the fact that you cheated for years to get to where you are. Because that's really what you're showing everybody. Because everybody knows you did. And like I said, the audio I just played, it literally showed that. You guys cheated for years. You cheated for 16 years to get to where you're at as a conference. You did not do it the old school way. You paid players illegally when nobody else could. Now that everybody can do it, we're seeing exactly what the SEC has always been, which is just another conference. You were never the better conference. You were never the better anything. You were just a conference that had at least one or two good coaches. Urban and Nick Saban are the two best coaches the SEC has ever seen. In years, honestly, since Bear Bryant. And Kirby Smart is pretty much the third best coach we've had since those two. And Kirby's not even better than Ryan Day. He's not better than Kirk Cignetti. I would say he's just as good as Dan Lanning. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys, but for the SEC, like in the Big Ten media days, they just ransacked the SEC and said, shut up and put it on the field. Stop your whining. Stop your playing. The other thing we did get from Big Ten media days as well, basically, it's pretty much just all about these teams talking about what they've done during the summer. Now, I will say Ryan Day gave some insightful stuff about Ohio State and their movement regarding the entire, how Julian Sand has a different look in his eye. Jeremiah Smith, we all know, is close to breaking records and stuff like that. But that was the biggest set of intel that came out of media days, was the Big Ten media days, which was Big Ten coaches pretty much putting the SEC in its place, as well as Tony Petitti, who did the same thing to commissioner, like talking to Greg Sankey as well. So I'm not going to lie about it. Like, I do think that this is a good way to make the SEC have to shut up and start showing themselves on the football field more. Because it's like, I don't want to hear you guys complain after you got through cheating, now that you don't have an advantage. And guess what? Even with this Protect College Sports Act, you don't have an advantage. You don't. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So you guys are going to have to just figure it out. Now, that's all I could get for you guys on today's show. The next show, we'll see. But I might try to test out some gaming on this show. Or at least during this podcast next time. I might try it out just to see how well it goes. And if it goes well, then you guys might start seeing the opening of the gaming channel, because I have started experimenting with that a little bit. So if it goes well, I'll try to see if I can do it on live stream. If not, we'll see. But given how the Wi-Fi's been kind of acting funny, I don't know if I should or could. I don't. So, but we'll see how it works, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If If you guys have enjoyed the Spectrum Podcast, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. And I'll see you guys by pretty much next Sunday. All right? So see you guys later. And we'll see if any other news comes up during that time as well. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in to the Spectrum Podcast. If you guys haven't already, hit that like, share, subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you guys never miss an episode of the Spectrum. But also put a comment down in the comment section down below to help us get our algorithm out there to more people, so that way more people could tune into the Spectrum Podcast. At the end of the day, we thank you guys for tuning in and expect more shows coming from the Spectrum Podcast. All right, guys. Again, thank you.
Walking through the neon in the middle of the night, every color hidden different in the pale moonlight. I see the violet bleeding into shades of deepest blue, a prismatic vision of a world that's feeling new. My heartbeat is syncing with the flashing of the signs, tracing out the movement of these geometric lines. From the infrared heat to the ultraviolet glow, I'm catching every frequency, I'm moving with the flow. There's a rhythm in the static, there's a logic in the noise, finding my direction through the balance and the poise. It's that spectrum vibe, yeah, we're living in the light, breaking through the prism, shining beautiful and bright. From the shadows to the summit, every color has a name. In the spectrum of the spirit, no two souls are quite the same. Yeah, we're riding on the wave, caught inside the golden hue. Spectrum vibes are calling out to